Alright. I've been messing with my phone in the car trying to get the right angle for like 10 minutes. I'm going to give up. I'm just going to give up at this point. This is the angle that I'm going to go with. And if it sucks, it sucks. And I'm sorry. And it is what it is. And we're gonna live with that. I was in the middle of adding hashtags to my face wash video. Hashtag authenticity. Hashtag authentic. Hashtag let's just be honest. I like that one. And the other hashtag is let's just be real. Just be real. I don't know if I should put another one safe. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not really trying to put too much thought into this sort of stuff because, as I said, I feel like I'm trying to be more spirit-led on everything, and if I put too much thought into it, I'm just going to overthink it, and I'm going to lose the purpose of being authentic. Because if I'm overthinking it, then I have to be like, oh, I'm planning something, and I have to do something, and I have to be something, and I don't want to do or be anything anymore. I just want to be myself. So, in order to be myself, I can't like think about being myself. I just have to be myself. Speaking of, I just realized I was talking to my husband, and he said that my whole face gets red when I find something genuinely amusing. I did not realize this about myself, and he had only said it because I was standing in front of the bathroom mirror and he had said something that I actually found was funny. And my face literally turned all red, and I saw myself, and it happens a little bit, but I saw myself in the mirror turn all red, and I was like, oh my god, like I turned all red, like that's gross. That's gross. Like, I didn't know my face did that. Like, that's terrible. And it's because I'm not looking at myself on the videos. And it's because I don't really want to look at myself on the videos. I feel like I'm not ready to look at myself and who I am. And that's kind of goes back to the planning thing. If I'm thinking about who I am and what I look like and stuff like that, I feel like it kind of ruins the authenticity of it. If I look at myself and start to change what I'm doing just because I don't like it, I feel like that's a fail. Like, and maybe it isn't. Maybe it's not a fail. Maybe it's just where I am right now. That if I observe myself, I lose the integrity, because I have the want to look at myself, because ultimately I understand I am going to have to look at these videos. I am going to have to edit them at some point. I am going to have to do stuff because that's what content creators do. So like eventually I will have to take like snippets and make like shorts specifically, like kind of even just to look at them and add a more appropriate description, because right now I'm really flying at the seat of my pants with the descriptions. I'm kind of just like putting whatever I feel like in the moment. It's not really being a thorough explanation of the videos that I post. And it won't be. And it won't be for some time until I actually set aside some time to do that work. So today is Sunday, the 12th. I have 2 meetings tomorrow. I did not go to church today. And some people are going to say that that is a bad thing. And I'm going to say it was a mentally healthy thing for me to do. Because yesterday I had our book club. Anxious for nothing. Finding Calm in a Chaotic World. This is the book that was chosen by the women within my congregation, the women leaders. And I was asking God, why are you having me read this book if I understand the neuroscience and I understand this, that, and the third? And I had such overwhelm for some things that were going on in my life, setting up the meetings, having to kind of tell professionals the sticky situation that we're in without traumatizing them, which was really hard to do because it seems like every time I just kind of talk about my life, people are like, oh, that's terrible. And it's like, this is why I just didn't want to talk about it. Like, can we talk about something else, please? Anything like that would be cool. That would be cool. I would like to talk about something else. Like, I don't know. Explain to me why your favorite color is your favorite color. Explain to me what verse that you read in the Bible this week and are putting into practice. Explain to me how you helped one of your neighbors. Explain to me a personal goal that you set for yourself that coincides with your faith. Are you being the example? I don't know. It made me think about all that stuff. Am I being the example? Now, so I'm looking at this. I'm questioning why they're giving this to me. And I guess it's because I wasn't being the example. I wasn't being the calm person that needs to be. It says about the calmness is like an anchor. Chapter 5 is the one that we were supposed to read, and then they do a lesson on the chapter that we were supposed to read. I personally don't really like that. I personally just read it as they're doing the lesson, and I feel like I get the most out of that way because it's having only one person talk is the quietest I really get. I do sneak out to the car to do these videos. I shouldn't technically be doing these videos. I guess I should be in the house. This isn't something that was talked about. It's just something I feel called to. But anyway, so chapter 5 in this, it says, chapter 5, contagious calm. Anxiety is needless because God is near. Now, it talks about some military events. And I can understand a military mentality because my dad was from military mentality, military stock, whatever you want to call it. My grandfather was a Navy radar officer. Like, he read the radars in the submarines in 2 different wars. And that mentality passed on. So I am familiar with the military mentality. I understand hierarchy. I understand following orders. Very much a Marine in that aspect. Like, I will eat the crayon if you tell me to eat the crayon. Like, I'm a good soldier. I want to be a good soldier. I want to be a soldier of the Lord. So if the Lord tells me to eat a crayon, I'm going to eat a crayon. And y'all can make fun of me for it. And I really don't care. So, fully understand the military stuff. I feel like they added these stories to kind of give civilians a example of that there are more dire situations than being late to your appointment, or you didn't get the dress that you wanted for your wedding, or whatever the fuck. Like, whatever you're anxious about, the trivial things. I feel like that's what the military stuff is saying in here. It's trying to calm those types of things. Like, oh no, you forgot to put your trash out. Well, you don't really have to be anxious about that. It's not that big a deal in the scheme of things. Like, you're gotta remember next time because you're gonna be more diligent, and you don't have to be stressed. Like, okay, somebody's sick. Well, sickness happens. The more you stress out about the sickness and worry about the sickness, oh, I'm never gonna get better. Oh, this is such a dire situation. Well, the more that's gonna perpetuate that situation. So that doesn't help the anxiety. So I understand the military stuff. Now, you'll see here that I do highlight, I do write notes. That is, they told me this was my book. So I took that very literally, and if I page back through, you'll see that I pretty much, just get rid of that cover. I pretty much highlight stuff, highlight and write, highlight, I write in there, scribbles. My handwriting's atrocious. No, I didn't write anything on those pages. I guess I agreed with those or had nothing to add. Unlike me. People call me a critic. I'm just an analyst, man. Like, I am an analyst. I like to take I really agreed with this. I like to take apart things, and I like to look at them. And this is why I really like books. Because if I'm reading online, I can't scribble. I can't scribble if I'm online. I want to scribble. I want to add my own thoughts. I want to leave little questions like this one on page 32. There's a section of Lamentations in chapter 3. It says, "The Lord's loving kindnesses indeed never cease, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore I have hope in him. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the person who seeks him. It is good that he waits silently for the salvation of the Lord." And here I wait. And here I wait. It says in the middle of the page, it says, "Are you troubled, restless, sleepless? Then rejoice in the Lord's sovereignty. I dare you, I double dog dare you to expose your worries to an hour of worship. Your concerns will melt like ice on a July sidewalk." Directly after that sentence, I put ... the ellipses. And it says, "Am I not worshiping correctly?" And I wondered if I was not worshiping correctly, because my worries have always been for the pain and suffering of myself and others, of those around me. Like, so it makes me wonder, am I worshiping incorrectly? Should I not be crying in front of anyone? Should I only cry in front of the Lord? Was I being inappropriate in my anxieties? A change in behavior has pointed towards abuse that has happened with my daughter when she was out of my care. And I'm not supposed to be anxious about that. I'm not supposed to be anxious about this interagency meeting that's happening tomorrow. I wasn't supposed to be anxious for all those years that I'm trying to teach said daughter how to speak, and here she is at 6 years old and autistic and not communicating, even though she knows all the words. Thankfully, getting her into a speech therapist has allowed us access to a communication tablet. So that is on its way. The speech therapist said that she would help us set it up, so then my daughter then would be able to actually express things. And honestly, I did cry when setting up some of these intake things. Like, I think I cried in every single one of them because I was so overwhelmed with actually getting help. Like, and not overwhelmed in a bad way, but overwhelmed in like a good way. Like, I literally was like, oh my God, it's actually happening. Like, I've been wanting, like, I felt like she's been off since about 3 years old, 2 years old, like right about there. I was like, no, something's up with my daughter. And like, my husband told me no, and my best friend told me no. And I'm like, I really think something's up. Like, I've studied enough child psychology. Like, I feel like she's falling behind. No, she's not falling behind. And people would like, even people that would see my daughter would just be like, oh, your daughter's so cute. She's so cute. Well, I don't give a fuck if she's cute. Like, I feel like she's kind of like going behind in her milestones, and here, like, I was working at the time, and then I find out she's not, like, going to the pediatrician, and then once I get her back into the pediatrician, like, I'm, like, trying to, like, give him updates of everything, but I think it wound up being so overwhelming for him, he wound up, like, not hearing everything that was being said, and so he did suggest BCIU. I said that we weren't successful with getting her into BCIU despite our attempts. But we didn't even, like, get her enrolled because, like, paperwork just wound up not ever coinciding for some reason. And so, we tried, like, BCIU, didn't work. And so he was like, the school will handle it. And so, like, we put her off to school in September of 25. And I don't know. I just don't feel like the school handled it. From a manager's perspective, I don't think the school handled it. So, I did what any manager does, and I threw away the previous plan, and I took in new information, and I created a new plan. And I was anxious during all of that, but this book is telling me not to be anxious. Anxiety is needless because God is near. Page 65. It says, let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything. Philippians 4. Chapter 4, verses 5 and 6. And it says the Greek word translated here as gentleness, epikis. I'm sorry, Greek people. Terrible pronunciation. I'm sorry, I'm a reader. I'm not a talker. The Greek word translated here as gentleness describes a temperament that is seasoned and mature. It envisions an attitude that is fitting to the occasion, level-headed and tempered. The gentle reaction is one of steadiness, even-handedness, fairness. It looks humanly and reasonably at the facts of a case. Its opposite would be an overreaction or sense of panic. This gentleness is evident to all. The contagiously calm person is the one who reminds others God is in control. This is the executive who tells the company, let's all do our part, we'll be okay. This is the leader who sees the challenge, acknowledges it, and observes these are tough times, but we'll get through them. So, I highlighted one more part on the next page. It says, then in the ultimate declaration of communion, God called himself Emmanuel, which means God with us. He became flesh. He became sin. He defeated the grave. He is still with us. In the form of his Spirit, he comforts, teaches, and convicts. So, from all the stress of everything, twice this week I actually was shaking. And I was crying and I was shaking. Because both times I felt like I wasn't being heard, in addition to all the other drama that's going on. So, 2 different days, 2 different situations, I was shaking. And two different individuals during that scenario had told me that I'm not allowed to be shaking. And then I have this book study on Saturday, and that tells me, confirms to be anxious for nothing. So I'm taking all that into consideration, and then I'm reminded this morning, I had made a post that came up on my YouTube feed, so I shared it to Facebook. Excuse me, I had a burp. Oh my god, what the fuck? And a second burp. Ugh, that's a lot of things my body is doing. What was I saying? I shared something on my Facebook page. Yeah. The YouTube video of, I was saying Jesus is crossing the sea with his disciples, and how they got scared, and Jesus is like, calms the sea. And everyone's terrified of him being calm, and it's like no matter what he does, people are just going to be scared. Even if he is calm, he's going to be terrified. But being calm is the key. Being calm is what God wants his people to be. Like, because no matter what, everything is in his hands. So if I'm freaking out about stuff, things aren't going to go in my favor. And it's okay that I'm saying all this, because I know how to be calm when things are crazy. I also know how to experience emotions when things are crazy, because I feel like it's healthy to experience your emotions. But considering everything going on, and considering the book, and then the video on my news feed, and it's just like boom, 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 boom. Like, is it coincidence, or is it God telling me, hey, there is a lot of things going on right now, but you gotta fucking take a chill pill, because everything's in my hands. So God's telling me, okay, everything's crazy. You have meetings with all these people. You have setups with all these professionals. You have your daughter switching from school to an intensive therapy program where she sees at least four therapists a week. So, okay, like boom, 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 all this stuff happening. Okay, church wants you to get married, which that's a whole other thing that happened in my book group. Boom, boom, boom. Everything's for the Lord. Just don't be anxious. The storm is just a storm. A storm is nothing to the Lord. A storm is nothing to the Lord. But yeah, that was another thing that happened in my book group. There was an individual who had come in a little late, and so the instructor was in the middle of her lesson, and she sees me because I take in my journal with my pen, and I'd be writing all the time. Bum, 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 writing all the time. So many thoughts in my head. Thoughts in my head, I think about so many things. Think about things. So, anyway, she saw me writing in, so she was like, I need a pen, I forgot a pen. Okay, whatever. People forget. People forget their things to class. It happens. No judgment. But then she sits next to me. And then she's writing. I'm not paying attention because I'm paying attention to the lesson. All of a sudden, she takes her note and she's right on my book. And I'm like, okay, this is obviously important. But I'm in the middle of the lesson right now. So I take her note, put it under my book. Not because I don't want to read the note, but because it was inappropriate to bring it up in the middle of the instructor talking. Like, is it that important? You can't wait until we go have snack? Like, we're about to have women's snack, and then there's, like, time afterwards that you can talk. Like, so I know that sounds like I'm judging, but I just don't get it. Like, I'm not really good at social cues. So, like, I just don't get it. But anyway, she gives me this note, and I read it at snack time. And she says, don't let them pressure you into marriage. And lady, if you're listening, I share this out of love. I'm not sharing this out of judgment. Don't let them pressure you into marriage. They did that to me, and it was awful. God told us how to treat one another. No paper required. Much love. We'll talk later. She gave me this note yesterday. She has nice handwriting. This isn't the first time she's come up to me and said about the pressuring of marriage. She's told me her story before. She's written a book. She was a prostitute at that time. And the church, not understanding the situation, or just being blind to the situation. I'm not really sure. I wasn't really there. But whether by choice or not, they weren't privy to the situation. And so they pressured her to marry her pimp. And she's told me that it was like the worst 9 years of her life. Like, she hated it. And I understand that. I completely understand that, because that would be wild. Like, I couldn't even really, like, I can imagine, but I don't want to imagine what it would be like to be a prostitute. Like, I've seen some stories and stuff. Like, it's not a life that I would choose to live, and blessings to all the sex workers that are out there. And I'm sorry that the system has led you to go into the work that you're doing. And I understand that some of them take it as a female empowerment thing. Okay, whatever, cool, good for you then. But I know that there's a lot of women that are, like, suppressed. So, work on the problem. Not judging the people that are cool with it, but working on the problem. There's a lot of suppression. And, like, so, boo that she had to live that life. But that's not the life that I'm living. Like, I'm not being pimped out. The only person I've ever been with since being in this relationship has been my husband. Like, I'm not even though I have slept with numerous individuals and even am considered to have a high body count compared to a lot of people, I am not a person to like sleep with someone and also sleep with someone else. Like if I'm with someone, I'm with someone. And so like the whole like pimping prostitution thing kind of just like clashes with who I am as a person. That's why I say like it's not for me and it's not my situation. So when this lady from church came in and she's slipping me this note, it's just my heart really just goes out to her, and I just pray that like she gets healing for the thing that has traumatized her so much she thinks that it applies to my situation just because I'm also saying that I don't necessarily feel like getting married in the government's eyes is a like super stellar thing to be doing in my situation. Like, and I did bring that up to the pastor too in like a private thing. I was like, hey, like my husband has like a heart condition, like with disability and stuff. Wouldn't things like mess up with marriage? Like doesn't disability and marriage affect things? Like I don't know. It's a messy world in bureaucracy, and I just don't understand all of it. So, like, because I thought with his health that he was going to be on disability, that he was going to be getting the assistance and aid and support that I thought his body needed. Yeah, I didn't want to marry him for that. Plus, he was not divorced when I got with him. And I'm sure there are people listening that are judging me for that. And you're welcome to. And we can go into that another day because I don't feel like talking about it right now. But he wasn't divorced when I got with him. And when he eventually did get divorced, we weren't really at a spot in our lives to be getting married. And so, like, I don't know. I said before in previous videos that I just don't understand marriage as far as, like, why do I need a ring to prove my marriage? Why do I need, like, the government to prove my marriage? Why do I need another human being to sign off on my relationship? Like, I feel like the fact that I've had children with this man is proof enough in my eyes that it's godly ordained, because like I said in this video, I have been with a number of individuals, and to the point where I actually thought I was infertile and that I couldn't have kids because mathematically I should have gotten pregnant at some point. But God blocked it, so... And it's good that he did, because those guys, I wasn't really like... It's complicated, because even though I care about those people, I wasn't like in love, like I wasn't in like romantic love. I just liked them as a person enough to sleep with them. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to that in modern times. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I should have done that. I'm not saying that's what the Bible teaches. I'm just saying that this is my experience. And based on my experience, I do feel like my current relationship is an actual marriage and an actual, like, as I said, Holy Spirit, divinely ordained relationship, because I have 3 children with this man. Like, I don't know. To me, it makes sense that he is my husband, because he's the one that blessed me with children. And I understand, like, there's plenty of women out there that are in situations that they wind up getting pregnant, and it's just not divinely ordained, because it's a graping situation and like an abuse situation. So, like, I understand. So I'm not saying that those situations don't happen. I'm just saying that's not my experience with my relationship. Like, I'm not getting raped, and I'm not getting physically beaten, and I'm not getting pimped out. Like, those things aren't happening in my relationship. And yeah, that's why I don't know. Marriage in itself is just messy. It's just messy. My views on it are messy, and they're different. And they're probably not what a normal Christian, faithful woman would be saying. But I've never been normal, so take that. Take my not normal self, and just understand that I'm not normal, and I'm just talking to get it out of my head, because I have a habit of just thinking and looping my thoughts and not actually letting them go. So I think maybe if I say enough and I actually like get it out, like I vocalize it instead of just thinking and praying, which is what I tend to do. If I vocalize it, maybe that will actually be letting it go to the Lord. My phone is saying it has 15%. Stupid phone. I wanted to share something that I wrote down. I don't know what to share. I'm a little nervous to share something. God told me to share some of the things I wrote down in my journal, but what do I share? It's all so vulnerable to share my stuff. It's already hard enough to be saying videos. One thing I got from the first day I had this notebook, I was in a couples conference that the church offered. We have another session coming up in August that I'm looking forward to representing our church with. So one of the things I wrote the first day was, love is not contractual, love is unconditional, which I believe that. I believe marriage is contractual, but I believe love is unconditional. I believe that love, when you have love for someone, it just exists no matter how they are, and they just, love is love. Love is love. You can choose to love all different types of people. Love is unconditional. I believe that. Something I wrote February 11th. Confidence bridges relationships. Confidence is grounded, non-dependent on external validation. God brings security. Confidence accepts feedback and admits mistakes. Confidence is demonstrated by action. Confidence is fueled by competence. Confidence is fueled by competence. Confidence takes feedback as a tool for growth. On the flip side, arrogance sees things as a personal attack. Arrogance is fragile, sense of superiority. Arrogance is noisy and needs to prove. So, with that last one, am I being arrogant if I'm saying I need to prove my relationship by getting a governmentally ordained marriage, by getting the ring and signing the paper and going up in front of people in a dress and all that stuff? Is that arrogance? Am I proving something at that point because I've said that I'll do it to prove it to you guys? I'll do it, like, whatever. It's out of frustration. Is that even really proving it, or is that a willingness and a submission thing? I don't know. This is kind of a tricky situation. Am I arrogant because I need to prove my relationship? Or am I being humility? No, that's not. Am I being humble? That's what it is. I forgot the word. Am I being humble and willing? Am I submitting myself by getting married? Or am I being arrogant and saying, I'll do it to prove it to you? I don't know. I have to write that down now. What day is today? Today is the 12th. I already said that at the beginning of the video. It's the 12th. Sunday. Am I arrogant because I am going to marry the father of my children out of spite. That's a heavy question. Who talk for 45 minutes aimlessly to the Lord, and are my anxieties about marriage gone? I don't know. Sunday, April 12th, 2026. Am I arrogant because I am going to marry the father of my children out of spite? Am I arrogant? Or ... am I a humble and willing servant of the Most High God? I don't know, man. Life is so tricky. How do I answer that? How would I answer this question? I can't. I can't just answer this question. This is a question I have. There's a lot of blank pages in here, which means there's a lot of thoughts that need to be had to fill up all these blank pages. That is a lot to think about. Okay, so I'll share some more things really quick. On February, how much battery do I have left? 11%, not that bad. I thought I was gonna have to get off sooner. So, on February 16th of this year, it was a Monday, God wrote to me when I was praying, wrote it down. So God says, move like I chose you, because I did. God speaking. Walk into that room like I sent you, because I did. Receive like I placed this in your hands, because I did. Answer the call like I sent it, because I did. Move forward like I cleared the path, because I did. Take care of them like I sent them to you, because I did. Let go like I removed it, because I did. Be still and know that it is me, because I am the Lord. Oh, it gives me goosebumps. I don't know if you can see it. I got them. I got the goosebumps. I got the goosebumps. I got the goosebumps. What else? On February 21st, I wrote, the Holy Spirit will guide us in all things with the energy of love and goodness. I let go of remorse towards rest, recovery, and stillness. These are needed to be a healthy and regulated individual. I fought for a long time not to rest, that I didn't need a break, that I didn't need to eat, that I didn't need to drink water, that I didn't need to shower, that I didn't need to get dressed, that I didn't need anything. There was over a year of my life that I told myself I did not need a hairbrush. So guess who did not have a hairbrush? Me. I didn't have a hairbrush because I said I didn't need it. And while technically I don't need a hairbrush to survive, it makes life a lot easier with a hairbrush instead of like trying to use your fingers to make your hair look good and look as good as everyone else who has hairbrushes. So with that, and with what God is telling me, I have been telling myself that it is okay to receive things. And just because people phrase it like, what do you need, is not necessarily the base thing of what do I actually need. Like, air in my lungs. I need air in my lungs. I need clean drinking water. But also, like, do I even need clean drinking water? Because, like, at one point I went like 5 days without water because, like, our water doesn't really come in through the tap right. And so my friend said that she would give us water, and then we weren't seeing her for like a week. So then we were out of water, and I just wasn't drinking. And I was just like telling myself that I'll stay hydrated with the food that I eat, which wasn't really happening. So I was starting to get like headaches and dehydrated because I wasn't drinking. So life is complicated, and I'm trying to get better at doing things about needs, wants and needs. So like, is it, I have to rephrase the need into, is this thing going to make my life better? If this thing is going to make my life better, then yes, it is a need. Period. That's what I need to just understand. So if it's not going to make my life better, it is not a need. If it is going to make my life better, it is a need. And I think I just need to take that mentality just because of the type of person I am. And I tend to tell myself, like, no, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need clean clothes. I don't need to take a shower every day. I don't need to wash my face. I don't need to brush my teeth. I can just keep sacrificing. I can keep sacrificing. And no, that's not healthy. So I think I need to just tell myself, if it improves my life, it is a need. Because then I won't be killing myself trying to improve my life, because my life will just be improved because I'll be accepting things that are useful. It sounds really simple, but it's something I've never done before, so this is going to be a little complicated. I was trying to write a song. I don't really feel like sharing that with you yet. So here's something I'll share. On March 28th, I wrote a prayer before our women's group, and it said, I'm really not asking for much. I want to live peacefully. I want enough to do things that fuel the holy fire within me. God has cured me of fear. I will not be forced to do things I don't want to do. These goals are in line with my birthright. It is that simple with God. I will stop acting like what I want is outlandish. I am not selfish for wanting what belongs to me. I am worthy through His grace and because I did the work. My goals will be received in gratitude without guilt or shame. Amen. While in the group, I wrote, I am in this women's group to learn how to soften my womanhood and femininity. I am here to experience safe, communal, and platonic love. I am here to experience true friendship for the first time in my life. I will not be rejected by the people around me. God shows me the way. Now, I say all that, and right underneath it, I wrote, I don't understand the sharing of personal stories. I pray God shows me what is the purpose. I lack understanding because I haven't experienced healthy friendships. This is new. The surface conversation is internal murder. It got so bleak. It's terrible. I'm like, yes, I love God, and also life sucks and it's terrible. But it's true. And then last one and I'm gonna sign off. All right, so on April 7th, so about a week ago, I wrote, I deserve to be safe. I deserve to feel safe. I deserve security. I deserve to be heard. I deserve to be cared for. I deserve to be truly loved. I deserve real intimacy. I repel anything that is not mine. I let go of fear. I let go of uncertainty. I let go of negativity. And I will receive in abundance with positivity. And as a person who is really bad with accepting gifts, I need to tell myself that I'm deserving of gifts. I have to tell myself that I'm not one of those girls that are taking advantage of dudes, because I'm not going to be like that. That's not the way to live. It's not the way to take advantage of anyone. You shouldn't be taking advantage of people, but you should be caring enough for yourself. I felt like singing today when I first started this video, but I don't really feel like singing anymore since I shared from my journal and I shared some of my thoughts. A lot of love to the people that I did mention. There's no ill will. It's just like me processing things, and God says that I should process things on camera. So, that's what I'm doing. So, there's no judgment or shame or guilt to any of the people that I've mentioned. It's just me trying to understand. Just trying me to understand and kind of navigate through my own world and come through the right answers. So thank you for all those who are here and listening in the video, and thank you to all the people who can physically be around me and tolerate this nightmare of a thought process that I exist in. So the sun is here and it's blinding. Yeah, I have really, really light eyes. So any amount of sunlight is just excruciating. But thank you to everyone who is around me and who listens. I appreciate it. It's all new and it's all strange, and it's also weird looking into this camera lens right now. Like, why the fuck am I looking into a camera lens? I'm used to looking at my face like with this, but if I look into a camera lens, like, I just feel like the camera lens is also looking back at me, and it makes it even that more serious. It's like, what is going on? But that's another conversation for another day. So thank you for all those that listen. Sorry I keep looping and saying the whole thing. I appreciate everybody, and we're going to keep going on this healing journey together, and we're all going to be our best selves, and our best selves fluctuates all the time, but we're going to get you to your best self, so it has the ability to fluctuate. And my phone's at 5%, so I need to shut up. Okay, peace. Peace, peace, peace. Where's the fucking button? Oh my god.